Welcome to my video on unpacking standards as part of Module 6, Unit 1, Activity 1, Moreland University's Teach Now graduate program. The unit I will be discussing is harmony as part and parcel of the IGCSE music curriculum. Harmony belongs to component 1 in the syllabus, and component 1 is listening. So to unpack the standard, students are to listen to and understand and be able to identify the following harmonic features orally: primary chords, secondary chords, perfect, imperfect, and interrupted cadences, and modulations to related keys. Without needing to really discuss the music jargon that I just spouted, the verbs would be understand, identify, and orally. Understand and identify orally, quite simply put. The nouns would be harmonic features, primary chords, secondary chords, imperfect, perfect, and interrupted cadences and modulations. And really, the big idea about this unit is that students will be able to listen to, understand, and identify some of the most fundamental rudiments of Western functional harmony. Now, modulations is quite a big section on its own, so I don't think in the span of this video we'll be able to cover it. But let's at least cover primary chords, secondary chords, and perhaps we have time for cadences. So, whilst we unpack the activities, it's really important that we were to look at how we do a knowledge harvest to ascertain the varying levels of understanding through a pre-assessment of my class. So I'd first be reviewing the circle of fifths and major scales, as that's the compass with which to direct our understanding of functional harmony. So I would discuss the circle of fifths with my class before I unpack cadences, in fact. And when we go through the circle of fifths, I will obviously do some pre-testing informally to see if my class has a firm understanding. All students have a firm understanding of the circle of fifths. At that point, if I've established that everybody understands how the circle of fifths functions, I would move on to unpacking cadences, at least briefly to begin with. What a perfect cadence is, what an imperfect cadence is, and what an interrupted cadence is. Secondly, I would go back to linking our understanding with the circle of fifths with the formula for a major scale. As you can see, it's whole tone, half tone, whole tone, whole tone, half tone. And I would then have my students do a very, very short exercise in writing out all 12 of the major scales so that we could use that list as to identifying the scale degrees of each scale. Once we've identified the scale degrees from a numbered scale, we'd be able to identify the root notes for primary chords 1, 4, and 5 in all major keys. And then we would all use the same list to identify the root notes for secondary chords 2 and 6 in all major keys. Then I would move on to discussing triads with my class. Triad just meaning 3 notes. So as you would see here from the piano, we would have notes 1 being C, skip a note to E because D is between C and E, then skip a note F, and then we'd have fifth degree of the scale being G.